Good afternoon, everyone. We have the immense pleasure of having Mr. Prasanta Murmu with us. Sir is Assistant Professor, Department of Fish Processing Technology, Faculty of Fishery Sciences, West Bengal University of Animal and Fishery Sciences, Kolkata. And the topic chosen for deliberation today is biofloc technology, application in aquaculture to support sustainable development goals. Sir, you are audible as well as visible, and also your presentation is also visible. And
Okay,
we started recording the session. You may start, sir. Thank you.
okay, thank you very much. So, a very good afternoon, everyone present here. Myself, Prashant Murmu, and thank you for a brief introduction about myself. Uh, so, uh, Nowadays we are facing a lot of difficulties because of the pandemic situation, but I hope everyone will be okay and safe in their respective homes. So, firstly, I express my sincere thanks to the organizing committee of this 21 days national training course 2021, the program jointly organized by our university and NADSEL. So, it is my great honor and privilege for giving me the opportunity to give a lecture on a specific topic. And I have been chosen a specific topic that is on biofloc and biofloc technology application in aquaculture to support sustainable development goals. Okay, so before we going to discuss about the main topic, we need to know about the few things that are most important about the traditional fish culture apart from the main topic and its impacts. So what happened? Fish, shrimp are fed a lot of feed, and unfortunately, about 70 to 80% of the remain in the pond, and the water and the sediment of the system. And pond contains a lot of load of nutrient to the system. So what are the outcomes? Actually, the outcomes is we waste a lot of feed and invest a lot of money to produce the fishes, and also we generate a lot of toxic residues like sulfide, ammonia, etc., and that will be accumulated to the system, and that's why the water quality of the system will be degraded, and that will affect the growth of the fish, and most importantly intensification is limited. Okay, so question is what can I do to solve that problem? So no intensification means lose income, not being able to raise the production. But we can choose industrial recirculating aquaculture system, but it is quite expensive. So that is not easy to afford the small farmers and as well as the small type of entrepreneur. But we can go for the biofloc technology. Okay. So here come here to the main topic. The global population is expected to reach 9.6 billion by the year 2050, and it is a challenge to provide quality protein by the safeguarding its natural resources for the future generation. So that's why the aquaculture plays a key role in promoting health by providing animal protein as well as generating employment and economic growth. So here the bioblock technology is considered as a blue revolution in aquaculture system, and the technique of enhancing water quality through the addition of extra carbon source externally to the aquaculture system through the external carbon source to elevate the carbon content of the feed. So as human population continues to grow, food production industries such as aquaculture will need to extend as well. So this technology helps to minimize use of water by maintaining the water quality within the system and also reduce the water exchange. That is the plus point of the biofloc technology. And biofloc technology, initially known as bacterial floc, was initiated in the fish tilapia by the Uram in late 1980s, and shrimp farming in Belize in late 1990s by Macintosh. Okay. So in order to prevent the environment and the natural resources, the expansion will need to take place in a sustainable way. So next, that is what is actually the BFT or biofloc technology. So in a simple word, we can say that biofloc technology by which we can limit water exchange or zero exchange of water, organic residues that will be accumulated to the system, mixed with the culture system, and we have to put continuous aeration, means 24 hours aeration have to put into the system, and that's why ideal condition for the bacterial growth will be generated, and bacteria control the water quality by which we can get a proper fish growth of the from the system, and fish eat bacteria and feed will be recycled to the system as well. So next things come to that, what is actually the biofloc is. So biofloc is a protein-rich macro aggregate and organic material and microorganism, including the diatoms, bacteria, protozoa, algae, fish plate, remaining in the dead organism and other invertebrates. This is actually the biofloc. So next concept behind the biofloc technology. So objective is to recycle nutrients and nitrogenous waste by the maintaining the high CN ratio. Carbon source such as molasses, wheat bran, cellulose are responsible for the bacterial growth and maintaining the high CN ratio to the culture system. The BFT not only maintain the water quality but also provide essential higher quality nutrition to the shrimp and fishes to achieve the faster growth, and also we can reduce the FCR value and the possibility to prevent diseases. So there are different factors that will influence the floc formation in the pond, like temperature, pH, dissolved oxygen, organic loading rate, etc. influence the floc formation in the pond. And this approach seems to be a practical and inexpensive means of reducing the accumulation of inorganic nitrogen to the pond system. The relay and the nitrogen control induced by the feeding bacteria with the carbohydrate and subsequent uptake of nitrogen from the water to synthesis microbial protein. So the relationship among the addition of carbohydrate, the reduction of ammonium, and the production of microbial protein depends on the few factors like microbial conversion coefficient, the CN ratio in the microbial biomass, and the carbon content of the added material. Okay. So the things is how does it works, means what is the working mechanism behind that technology. So in BFT is a heterotrophic bacteria by controlling the by the heterotrophic bacteria, and also heterotrophic bacteria feed on organic matter. As bacteria are made up of a protein, they need nitrogen, so they use the chemical energy, okay, in organic substrate and consume oxygen. Though they are anaerobic bacteria, bacteria need a lot of food for their feeding purposes, and the pond must be loaded with organic residues, and ponds should be fully aerated because aeration is required for the proper growth of the fish. Further, the pond should be well mixed with all the components, and similarly, number of the bacteria in such ponds must be 10 to the power 6 to 10 to the power 9 in one semicube for the proper functioning. The pond becomes biotechnological industry corresponding to the biofloc technology. Okay. So here it is the diagram of biological processes of biofloc cultivation. So biofloc system is a wastewater treatment which has gained vital importance as an approach in aquaculture system. The principle of the technique is to maintain the higher CN ratio by adding carbohydrate source externally, and the water quality improved through the producing the higher quality single cell microbial protein. In such condition, heterotrophic microorganism growth occurs, which assimilate the nitrogenous waste that can be exploited by the culture species as a feed, and also work as a reactor controlling the water quality. Okay, so in this biological processes, what happened? And there is mainly the three stages. In first stage, bacteria of the genera Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus act on ammonia generated by the food scrap and feces or urine. The waste is oxidized to nitrite. Okay. In the second stage, the nitrite is converted to nitrate by the bacteria of the genera Nitrobacter and Nitrospira. And in the third stage, the nitrite reduced to nitrogen gas by the action of anoxic denitrification by the bacteria, mainly the genera Pseudomonas and Acromabacter. And we have to put 24-hour aeration, and it is recommended that CN ratio is 10 to 20 is to 1. Means to eliminate the one part of nitrogen, we have to use 10 to 20 part of carbon source. Means if nitrogen is 1 ppm, 1 mg per liter, then we have to use 10 to 20 mg carbon source. Okay. Whether it may be the molasses or jaggery or sugar. Okay. Next, that is the composition of nutritional value of biofloc. So biofloc is a heterogeneous aggregate of suspended particle and varieties of microorganisms associated with the extracellular polymeric substances. It is composed of microorganisms such as bacteria, algae, fungi, invertebrates, and detritus. It is a protein-rich live feed formed as a result of conversion of unused feed and excreta into the natural food in a culture system on exposure of the sunlight and vigorous aeration. Okay. Each flock is held together in a loose matrix of a mucus that is secreted by the bacteria and bound by the filamentous microorganisms or electrostatic attraction. Large flock can be seen by the naked eye, but most of them are microscopic. Flock size ranges from 50 to 200 micron, and the dry weight of protein ranges from 25 to 50%, and fat ranges from 0.5 to 15%. But it is a good source of the vitamin, minerals, particularly phosphorus. Okay. So it has an effect similar to the probiotics. The dried biofloc is proposed as an ingredient in replace of the fish meal or soybean in the feed. Okay. So coming to the next slide, the technology has recently gained attention as a sustainable method to control the water quality and adding the value of producing protein in rich feed in situ. Okay, there are mainly three goals. The prime goal of aquaculture expansion must be produce more aquaculture product without significantly increasing the uses of the basic natural resources of water and land. The second goal is to develop sustainable aquaculture system. This will not damage the environment. And third one is the build up systems providing an equitable cost and benefit ratio to support economic and social sustainability. So here are the few applications of biofloc technology in the aquaculture system. So first one is biofloc system provides a nutritious food source and can be improved for the utilization efficiency. It has been well documented that in situ utilization of microbial flocks generated in the biofloc system by some aquaculture organisms, as well as the utilization of the processed bioflocs as a feed ingredient. Okay. And another Joetel 2008 demonstrated that the concentration of the free amino acids such as alanine, glutamate, arginine, and glycine, which are known attractant to the shrimp diet, are present in biofloc system. Second, biofloc system reduce water utilization and waste generation. Okay, so equally important as target species production enhancement, the application of biofloc technology may significantly reduce the quantity of the water use in the main resource in aquaculture system. Okay, to illustrate, the intensive zero exchange line shrimp pond only require 1 to 2.26 m cube per kg of shrimp, whereas the conventional system, the extent of water will be more, that is 80 meter cube per gram of shrimp. Okay. So in addition, Leo et al. In 2014 noted that the water consumption in biofloc-based tilapia culture system was 40% lower than that of the recirculating aquaculture system. Okay. So next, biofloc-based integrated aquaculture system for the higher productivity, higher nutrient utilization, and lower aquaculture pollution. Okay. So possible modification in the biofloc-based aquaculture to maximize nutrient utilization efficiency is by the applying nutrient recycle principle in the system, and the faster conversion of nutrient by the microbes associated in the bioflocs or periphyton may provide more digestible and nutritious additional food source for the both main culture organism and other species adapting to the system. Okay, in this way, utilization of these waste nutrients is expected to more efficient or less pollution will be generated. Okay. Next, that is the application in nursery system. Nursery phase is defined as an intermediate step between hatchery reared, early food stubby, and grow out phase. Such phase presents several benefits, such as optimization of the farmland, increase in the survival, and enhance the growth performance of the grow out pond. So BFT has been applied successfully in the nursery phase in different shrimp species like Lithopinius minami and Pineus monodon, etc. Better nutrition by continuous consumption by the biofloc. It is showed that the growth enhancement of L. venami post larvae reared in the nursery biofloc technology is better compared to the clean water system. Okay, so enhance growth performance. It is also showed that for the species Farpentopinius polensis, that is also that the increase of normally happened 50% by the weight, and for the final biomass that will be 80%, and increase the survivability rate of the L. venami in the biofloc system, that is 55 to 9% to 100% and 97 to 100% respectively. Okay, so maintain favorable water quality and enhance production. The addition of substances in biofloc system increase growth and further enhance the production, while also contributing more favorable water quality condition. According to study, it is showed that the growth survival is no effect by the stocking density, and therefore greater production output will be achieved in a higher density. And obviously in the biofloc system decrease food conversion ratio, and that's why we can reduce the cost of the feed. Application in grow out system. In grow out, BFT has also shown nutritional and zero technical benefits. It was estimated that more than 29% of the daily food intake in the L. venami consisted of the microbial flock, and decreasing FCR, and as well as we can reduce the cost of the feed. It is also showed that the juvenile of L. venami fed with a 35% CP pelletized feed grew significantly better in biofloc condition compared to the clean water condition. Okay. Next, application in breeding. The BFT has been successfully applied in the grow out system, but little is known about the biofloc benefits on the breeding system. So biofloc is a form of rich lipid protein source could be utilized for the first stage of broodstock's gonad formation and ovary development. Furthermore, production of broodstock in BFT could be located in a small areas close to the hatcheries facilities and preventing spread of the disease caused by the stream transportation. Okay, so BFT could be enhance the spawning performance as compared to the conventional pond or tank rear system. Okay, the use of bioflux as a biocontrol measures. Intensive aquaculture of crustacean is one of the most fastest growing sector of the aquaculture production. And despite its huge success, shrimp culture is facing several outbreaks of infectious disease, which has caused significant economic losses. So, due to the haphazard mishandling antibiotics in aquaculture, pathogenic bacteria are now becoming resistant to a numerous antibiotics. As a result, antibiotics are no longer effective to the treating the bacterial disease. Okay, so the disruption of quorum sensing and bacterial cell-to-cell communication with a small single molecules has been proposed as a new strategy to control the bacterial infection in the aquaculture system. As the cell-to-cell communication mechanism regulate the expression of the virulence factor. Okay. So recently found that in the biofloc system, grown glycerol were able to protect notoviotic brine stream, that is Artemia, against the pathogenic Vibrio herbi, and that is beneficial effect was likely due to the interference of the pathogenic quorum sensing system. Okay, so another interesting factor of the biofloc to further investigate with respect to the biocontrol effect in the capacity, the accumulator of the bacterial storage compound, that is polybeta hydroxybutyrate, and that polybeta hydroxybutyrate has been shown that protect different aquaculture animals and bacterial infection. Okay, so that PHB accumulating bacteria that is present in the biofloc, and also PHB level in between 0.5 to 18% in the dry matter basis. Okay, so use a biofloc in a aquaponics system. So it is a new, what is actually the aquaponics? It is a new revolution of the food production. Aquaponics is a modern sustainable of the food production based on the principle of organic farming, which combine the hydroponics, that the cultivation of plants in the sand gravels of water, and the aquaculture, fish farming. The idea is to combine the two techniques in a single system in order to reinforce the positive effect of the each technique and to eliminate the negative effects. Okay. So nowadays, BFT has been successfully applied in the aquaponics. The presence of rich biota and the variety of nutrients such as micro and macronutrient originated from uneaten and undigested feeds into the contribute in the plant nutrition. Okay, in a closed and dynamic system, the fish waste is converted through a bacteria into a natural fertilizer that will nourish the plant. This in turn when consuming the nutrients and leave the clean water for the proper growth of the fish, and we can get a healthy fish. Okay. The commercial aquaponics system integrated tilapia aquaculture with a vegetable hydroponics. The system intensifies the production on a small area of land, reduce the amount of water or zero water use to produce two separate crop at a time without reduce without use a lot of water. Okay. Here it is a commercial interest. Commercial interest in biofloc system is threefold for the biofloc to provide a higher productivity, low FCR value, and the stable environment. And also the emerging viral problem and raising cost of the energy, biofloc technology appear to be answer for the sustainable production at a lower cost. And the technology has not only been applied for the commercial stream grow out farm, but also in super intensive brushware system also, and it produce 9 kg stream per meter cube of the system. Okay. And the raceway application has supported nursery and grow out to the shrimp broodstock rearing and selecting the family lines. And presently, a number of studies by major universities and private companies are using the biofloc as a protein source in shrimp and fish feed also. Okay. Here I present a few slide about the worldwide spread up of the biofloc technology. It is Belize in Central America, that is introduced by the Macintosh in 1990s. Okay, for the shrimp farm. Malaysia, Indonesia, Peru, Guatemala, and China. Nowadays, BFT also spread up to the South Asian countries also. The region consists of Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Maldives, and Sri Lanka also. This one also spread up to the South Asian region also. Okay. Next species suitable for the biofloc culture. A basic factor is designing in the biofloc system in the species to be cultured. Biofloc system works best with the species that are able to derive some nutritional benefits from the direct consumption of the flock. And the biofloc system is most suitable for the species that can be tolerate high solid concentration in the water and the generally tolerate the poor water quality. So here some of the species that are suitable for the biofloc culture. For the air-breathing fish like singi, magur, pabda, anabas, or koi, and pangasius, these are most important fish species that is cultured in a biofloc system. Another side, the non-air-breathing fishes like common carp, Cyprinia scarpio, or Leviorohita, Oreochromis niloticus, and Chanosanus. These are the non-air-breathing fish species cultured in the BFT system, and as well as shellfishes like Venami, Leutopenaeus venami, that is mostly important fish species that is cultured in a BFT system, and also tiger shrimp, that is Penaeus monodon. Okay. So next, what are the benefits of the biofloc culture system? So have we already discussed about all the benefits of the biofloc culture system, and now that is a great technique for the our aquaculture system. Okay. So what are the benefits? That is eco-friendly culture system, obviously, and it reduces the environmental impact by reducing the pollution and all the excreta release from that system, and improve land and water use efficiently and efficiency, and limit or zero water exchange. Higher productivity we will get from the system, and higher biosecurity also secured from the system, and reduce water pollution and risks of introduction of the spread of the pathogen. We can reduce that one also. And cost effective feed production. It reduces the utilization of the protein rich feed and cost standard feed. It also reduces the pressure of capture fisheries, like use of cheaper food fish and trash fishes for the feed formulation. Also, there have a few disadvantages also in the biofloc technology system. these are increase energy requirement for the mixing and aeration purpose, because we need 24 hours aeration. That's why energy is a most important things and requirement for the bioblock system. Okay, so reduce response time because water respirating rates are elevated. Startup period required, and alkalinity supplement required to the system, and increase pollution potential from the nitrate accumulation to the system. That is also a disadvantage, and inconsistency and the seasonal performance for the sunlight and exposure of the exposed system. Okay, these are the disadvantages of the bioblock technology. Okay, so this one is my last slide. So bioblock technology application offers benefits in improving aquaculture production that could contribute to the achievement of the sustainable development goal. Okay, so this technology could result a higher productivity and less impact on the environment. Furthermore, bioblock system may be developed and performed in integration with other food production, thus promoting the productive integrated system. Okay, the bioblock technology is still in infant stage. A lot more research is needed to for the optimization of the system. Okay, mainly relation in the nutrient recycling and immunological effects. Okay. In addition, research finding will need to be communicated to the farmers and as well as the small type of entrepreneurs. Those are interested to bioblock technology. The implementation of the bioblock technology will require upgrading for their skill development. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much for your questions. Okay. So if you have any types of question related to this topic, you may ask. Hello.
Actually, you have mentioned that PHB is will protect the aquatic animals, like culturable animals, from the bacterial infection. So, is there any other way or other agents which are used to protect the animals, the cultured species from the bacterial infection? That's my first question. And second one is whether there is a regular practice or a way of like regular system that bacterial pathogens are detected in the flock, or whether or it is in case any situation like where bacterial infections are visible, then only it is taken care of.
Okay. So for your what is your first question is?
First question was you said no PHB is
Yeah,
used
PHB.
to protect the bacterial infection. So any other way or any other agent which is used or which is there to protect from bacterial infection other than this? That is my first question.
Okay, actually there are different types of chemical used for the reduce the infection of the bacteria. So actually main purpose is to do not need to remove the bacteria, because bacteria is the main things to produce the block. Okay, so if the bacterial colonies will be more, so that's why we can to need to control, because the nitrogen will be generated from the system. So we have to, by the reduce that or eliminate that nitrogen, we have to use external carbon source also. Okay.
And second one was whether there is a regular process of detecting the pathogens, whether it is there or not, or in case any infection occurs, then only it is taken care of.
Actually, for your first point, that is actually I do not know about that part, because this part is not actually my concern. So that's why I don't know about that. So sorry for that. And second
Okay,
one is,
okay.
I think we can observe by the externally, where we can see the what happened about the fishes, by which we can detect that, and after that we can medicine use for the
That
that
means if
purpose.
there is any infection, then only it will be taken care of, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
No?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Actually, thank you very much. Anyone?
Sir, this is Selvaraj from Fisheries College, Ponneri. Do this bioflak technology still practiced in like Israel and other developed countries?
Yeah, actually, yeah, in 1990s, Yoram firstly introduced in Israel by the species tilapia. Okay, first time. But nowadays, that is a crazy technology in fisheries. So, and nowadays, South Asian countries also introduce this system also.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Sir, which type of medicine we can use in our biofloc tank for prevention?
Okay, so actually the medicine, there are different types of medicine we can use for the biofloc system. For the betterment of the oxygen, there are some pellets available in the market. We can use for the increasing the oxygen level, and for the medicine, we do not actually require for the medicine to the use in the biofloc system, because if we can properly maintain the CN ratio to the system, we do not avail the medicine to the use for the system. Okay.
Sir, any type sanitizer can we use?
Okay, for the sanitization purpose, we can use KMNO4, potassium permanganate. We can use for the sanitation purpose, and apart from that, we can use the home remedies like chlorination water, or we can use the turmeric for the sanitization purpose also. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Anyone, if you have any questions related to this topic?
Sir,
Any other
sir,
question?
Hello.
Please
what is the dose of KMNO4 for sanitization in our tank?
Okay, sorry.
Sir, what is the dose of KMNO4, potassium permanganate, in our biofloc tank for sanitization?
Okay, so you need to know the Kemine for the sanitation purpose. What is the dose?
Yes, yes, sir. What is the dose?
Hello.
Yes, sir. What is the dose of KMNO4?
Okay, so
Hello.
basically that is hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So potassium permanganate we can use in 0.1% solution and make it, and after that we can use for the sanitation purpose.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, okay.
Sir, I'm Dr. Ishfaq Agha. I'm working at SCOST-K, Kashmir. So I'm having a
Okay.
project on aquaponics and biofloc. So for biofloc, what will be the protocols? Because we are having temperature fluctuations over here. So is there any
Okay.
protocol so that I can install a biofloc over here?
In Kashmir, there is most of the time, I think temperature is very low, like 12 or 15 or 20, below 20 actually. So for the bioblock system, the ideal temperature is 28 to 32 degrees Celsius. So if you used to install a bioflux system to your locality, so you have to maintain that temperature by providing the water heater through which we can get a proper temperature, that is 28 or 32 degrees Celsius for the proper fish growth. But you have to maintain that temperature. Okay, otherwise that is very difficult to maintain that things. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Hello.
Any other question?
Sir, can we use methynyl blue for sanitization?
Actually, initially, we can use KMNO4, potassium permanganate, for the sanitization. But in case of any type of disease occur, methyl blue we can use for that purpose also.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
for
being with us.
your presence.
Thank you. On behalf of the organizing
Okay,
committee
okay.
and the participants, we extend our gratitude for being with us. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's join back on Monday. Tomorrow it will be assignment.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Majid sir, also.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.